So, you're having some troubles with your flush valve. Let's take a look at a few possible causes and the corrective actions you can take to get your flush valve back in action. Problem 1. The valve will not operate at all. Press the manual override button. If you hear the gears turn, but no water is flowing, you have a water supply issue. If you hear nothing at all, then you most likely need to replace your batteries. First, let's make sure that the main water supply to the wall is turned on. Next, make sure that your control stop valve is turned on. To do this, remove the stop valve cover with your Allen wrench. Using a flat blade screwdriver, open the valve by turning the screw counterclockwise. Press the manual override button to flush the unit. If the unit still does not flush, replace the batteries. Remove the battery tray with your Allen wrench. Replace the 4 C batteries as depicted, and then reinstall the battery tray. Test flush the unit again with the manual override button. If the unit flushes, next try flushing by triggering the sensor. If it flushes, you're all set. If it doesn't, we'll need to reset the sensor activation distance. To adjust the sensor, remove the battery tray with your Allen wrench. Remove the Easy Flush sensor cover. Remove the adjustment port cover. Reinstall the battery tray to activate the unit. Remove the sensor adjustment tool. Stand at the desired activation distance. Using the sensor adjustment tool, turn down the sensor all the way and then slowly back up until the yellow LED begins to flash. Ensure the sensor is not detecting a stall door or a wall by stepping out of the sensor path and making sure the sensor LED is not flashing. If it is, you'll need to shorten the activation distance. Next, replace the sensor adjustment tool and port cover. Remove the battery tray once again. Reinstall the Easy Flush sensor cover. Then reinstall the battery tray to activate the unit. After the 10-minute startup sequence, the yellow LED will flash only 3 times when a user is in view after a 5-second delay. Problem 2. Insufficient volume of water to adequately siphon the fixture. Remove the stop valve cover and increase the water flow by turning the screw counterclockwise in small increments and testing the fixture in between adjustments. If that doesn't do it, let's try accessing the piston to ensure we have the correct type of piston installed. Close the stop valve to shut off the water supply. Press the manual override button to relieve any residual pressure in the valve body. Open the valve body with your smooth-jawed wrench. Water closets and urinals have 2 different piston assemblies. Verify that you have the correct type of piston installed. Then replace the valve body cover. Secure the connection with your wrench. Open the stop valve and reinstall the vandal-resistant stop valve cover. If this doesn't solve the problem, you'll need to ensure that the system pressure is adequate. Consult the fixture guide for minimum gallons per minute and running pressure for optimal performance. Problem 3. The flush valve shuts off too quickly. Let's begin by accessing the piston. First, shut off the water by turning the screw on the control stop valve clockwise until it turns no further. Press the manual override button to relieve any residual pressure inside the valve body. Using a smooth-jawed wrench, remove the valve body cover. Remove the piston from the valve body. Next, examine the piston to check for damage or punctures. If it's damaged or punctured, you'll need to install a new piston replacement kit. Examine the bypass orifice. If it's damaged or enlarged due to corrosion, you'll need to install a new piston replacement kit. Install the new piston. Reinstall the valve body cover and tighten with a smooth-jawed wrench. Open the control stop valve. Reinstall the vandal-resistant stop valve cover. Problem 4. The valve is flushing too long or won't shut off. First, let's access the piston assembly. Remove the stop valve cover and close the control stop valve with a flat blade screwdriver to shut off the water supply. Press the manual override button to relieve any residual pressure inside the valve body. Remove the valve body cover with a smooth-jawed wrench. Remove the piston from the valve body. Unscrew the brass portion of the piston from the piston body. Examine the trip mechanism seen here for any foreign material or debris preventing the trip mechanism from seating properly against the black rubber gasket. Rinse all parts thoroughly and reassemble the piston. Next, examine the bypass orifice and make sure that it's not plugged or partially plugged. Clean and rinse as necessary. Reinstall the piston in the valve body. Reinstall the valve body cover and tighten with a smooth-jawed wrench. Open the control stop valve and reinstall the vandal-resistant stop valve cover. An additional cause of flushing too long could be that the system pressure is not adequate or has dropped below the minimum operating range. In this case, steps should be taken to increase the line pressure. Problem 5. The flush is not considered quiet. First, let's try and adjust the control stop for quiet operation. Remove the stop valve cover. Turn the water down by turning the screw clockwise with your flat blade screwdriver in small increments and testing, keeping in mind the fixture evacuation requirements. If this doesn't take care of it, cover the bowl of the fixture and test flush the unit. If this corrects the problem, the fixture is the source of the noise, and you'll need to contact the fixture manufacturer. Additional causes that should be explored by the building engineer could include the absence of air chambers and shock arrestor, loose pipes, improper sized pipes, etc. Well, that about does it. Thanks for troubleshooting with me today. If none of the above fixes solved your problem, you can always reach out to ZER's expert team for support. And check out our huge library of other troubleshooting and installation videos on our YouTube channel.